Good things often come in threes, like timely baskets in basketball and college football games. So this is a huge, colossally awesome week. It's an all-time Saturday. If you're going to a fall wedding this week, cancel. Call in sick. That cough you have sounds like it's really bugging you. Oh boy. You better not go give that to everybody else because it's cold and flu season and you need to just sit on your couch. I want to start with Iowa State at West Virginia. Do you understand that Iowa State is ranked number 11 in the country right now? Do you understand that Matt Campbell and Rocco Beck together have not lost a football game? Do you understand they're 2-0 in Big 12 play and that they're 3.5-point favorites on the road, according to our friends at FanDuel, against West Virginia? What do you think about West Virginia right now? What was your last impression? For many of you out there, you might have watched them in the first week. They get blasted by Penn State, and you go, whatever. I got nothing. West Virginia. West Virginia hasn't lost a Big 12 game, by the way. Have not lost one yet. I've been pretty right on West Virginia so far. And I think I'm right when I say this is going to be an incredibly difficult game. I'm not making a pick yet. I just want this to be on your radar because you're going to talk about with your friends at the bar or hanging out on a couch or wherever you talk about college football texting. You're going to say, oh man, I can't wait for Red River. Oh man, Ohio State, Oregon. Oh man, Tennessee, Florida. Could the Gators pull an upset and Billy Napier really save his job? Lots of great games. I'm telling you to watch those games. I don't want you to miss these though, because Iowa State should be seen as one of the favorites in the Big 12 because they're undefeated on the season. They're undefeated in Big 12 play. The only other team that can say that currently, where they don't have a loss anywhere, is BYU, who's hosting Arizona this week. That's a good game too. It's going to be in Provo. Cougars coming off a bye. Wildcats looking for a bounce back. And Arizona's Big 12 title hopes essentially on the line this week because you can't have a second conference loss this early and then go win the conference championship. But hey, the Big 12 is wild and crazy. Iowa State at West Virginia. If the Cyclones are for real as a Big 12 title contender, they go into Morgantown, win this football game. But if they lose it, you better look at West Virginia and say, hey, are they going to pull a 2021 Utah in the Pac-12 where they lose a couple games in the non-conference, but then by the time league play starts, they just keep beating everyone? This is going to be a really fun football game. Really fun and important football game because I am not going to pull the old switcheroo if Iowa State wins, where it's just West Virginia. I'm not going to pull the old switcheroo if West Virginia wins this football game and say, Iowa State, I didn't buy them before. They weren't any good. No, winner of this game is going to be 3-0 in Big 12 play. I don't think everybody realizes that. So that is absolutely an under-the-radar game that amidst a loaded lineup of college football games, you better be watching. Because it's going to be one you look back on in several weeks' time and you say, wow, that game was really important in the conference title race. What if Iowa State has one conference loss and they squeak by West Virginia, you might be going, well, man, what if they lost that game to West Virginia? They went on the road to Morgantown and won. Big game. Big game in the Big 12. Let's go to the ACC before we go to the Big 10. Under the radar game, Louisville at Virginia. So, Cardinals, bad loss last week at home. I know SMU's a solid team. They're now ranked to the top 25. They should be because they went into Louisville and won the football game, 34-27. So now Jeff Brom's team, who played in the ACC championship game a season ago, they've got one conference loss. One conference loss. They will have opportunities to play Miami. They will have opportunities to play Clemson and the like. And guess what? They have to go at Virginia this week. And if I asked you right now, what is Virginia's record? What do you think it is? Do you hear a lot about Tony Elliott's team? No. And frankly, you shouldn't. They haven't been special so far. They haven't pulled a major upset this season. They've just been quietly flying under the radar, and they're 4-1. They are 1-1 in ACC play. It's nothing special. They don't have a very tough schedule. It's not the most impressive 4-1 record in the country. It's still a 4-1 record in the country. Last I had checked before the year, the Cavaliers' win total was 4.5. They could go over that this week if they pull an upset. But if Louisville wants to get back to that conference championship game, they're going to have to win every game they play in all likelihood. Maybe they could lose one if some chaos ensues. They probably have to win every game. And you can't lose this one. So that's going to influence the conference title picture in the ACC. Is anyone talking about that? No. Hence the title of this segment, Under the Radar Games that you have to be on the lookout for. Louisville at West Virginia. Cardinals about a 7.5-point favorite on the road. Interested to see how Jeff Brom's team bounces back after losing at home last week. Washington at Iowa in the Big Ten. Now this one, had Roman Tomashoff, Locked On Huskies, on yesterday's show. He feels good about Washington's chances to go into Kinnick Stadium and win. He thinks they can go and knock off the Hawkeyes in front of the home crowd, overcome the defense. This game comes down to a couple things. Number one, how does Washington's offense move the ball against the Iowa defense? Because those are the two best individual units in this particular game. You have a Washington offense that put up 27 points amidst missing field goals last week against Michigan's defense. Well, Iowa's defense, you know it's good. The offense, yikes. Washington's defense, better than you think. Washington's offense, better than you think. Now, the Huskies at this point in time are 2-1 in Big Ten play. If they improve to 3-1, you're going to look at them differently. And if they pick up back-to-back wins against Michigan, which they did last week, and then they go at Iowa, where they're a 2.5-point underdog. Last time they were a 2.5-point underdog on the road, they were at Rutgers a couple weeks ago. They lost that game. I don't know if I have Roman's level of confidence of Washington's ability to go on the road because they haven't shown that yet. But certainly this is a team that everyone said, oh, it's going to be a bounce back. It's a rebuild year. Heck, Jed Fish at Big Ten Media Days said this is a rebuild. It's a complete and total rebuild because that's calling a spade. Lost just about everybody from a year ago. They're starting to find their footing. If you haven't watched Jonah Coleman run the football, I think he is RB2, at worst RB3 in the 2025 NFL Draft. Ashton Genty is 1. I might have Jonah Coleman number 2. He's not the biggest guy, but man, he's good. He is explosive. He is dynamic. He is versatile. He will run through you. He will run around you. He will run away from you. Take him out, and then who's the quarterback? Oh, that's right, Will Rogers, who's thrown, I don't know, several hundred, maybe even 1,000 passes in his college football career. It's not his first go-round. He's not a guy who's going to get supremely rattled going on the road to a hostile environment. I think this game is highly interesting, and if Washington wins this game, that's going to be a confident locker room. They will have picked up 2 wins in a row that are very impressive, that people would not have pegged as Washington wins, perhaps outside of the Seattle area or inside that locker room coming into this year. And I think that Iowa has the opportunity to stem Washington's flow, but also remind themselves what they are or what they can be, because so far it's been the Iowa State loss. That's not great. Ohio State, all right, you don't expect to win that game on the road. But if Iowa loses this game, I think things could really spiral for the Hawkeyes this season. But if they win this game, optimism could be restored in Iowa City. So those are 3 under-the-radar games in a loaded, and I mean a loaded, lineup of college football here. I just can't wait for it. I'm already anxious that the games are not here in this moment. I can't wait. I'm excited for them to happen. I'm sad that it's going to be over. But don't overlook those 3 football games. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time. And until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.